Good afternoon and welcome to St. News File. I'm Brendan Donald. Katie Rebagliati will have a look at the latest highlights later. What can we expect, Katie?
So we're going to be looking at the St. Trojans men's hockey team when they had their home-and-home split with the Concordia Thunder.
Thanks, Katie. We will have a look at weather with Keith Driver later today, but first, here are today's top stories. Polls for Tuesday's by-election closed at 8 p.m. while advance voting wrapped up on Saturday. Despite the high-profile nature of the by-election, there was little interest in advance voting, with just 12% of eligible voters sending their ballot early. That's only about half the advance voters that were in the 2019 general election, when voters' turnout was a whopping 68% province-wide, which was the highest voter turnout in nearly 40 years. For anyone, it is hard to not notice the prices at the grocery store increasing. It has felt the impact of inflation with restaurant owners the most, which have to budget food costs for an unpredictable amount of people. It is not an easy job, but restaurant owners are finding a way to make it work. Ella went to a restaurant to speak to some of the management team on the matter. How was it, Ella, and did you get hungry?
It was insightful, and I sure did, Brendan. Ingredients for most recipes, such as eggs, oil, and flour, have become more expensive. This causes items on the menu to increase to make sure that restaurants are hitting their profit margins. This can even turn regulars away, which hits business hard, especially during the slow season.
Little things in the front of house that we're doing is just like as simple as not putting jam caddies on our table. So, really, being conservative with what we're handing out and watching every little penny we possibly can.
It's not easy maintaining a restaurant during a high inflation period. Brendan, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ella. That was Ella Matt reporting live. WestJet is warning that there may be further delays and cancellations over the next 4 hours as it continues to recover from a system-wide outage over the weekend. WestJet's outage on Saturday evening, but everything the airline has working towards is reaccommodating guests. More than 200 flights were canceled over the week, and another 48 flights were canceled on Monday due to the service outage, winter weather, crew, safety, and management. WestJet says its call center was out of service during the outage, so people faced longer waits and weren't able to get through. A woman has been rushed to the hospital bleeding and slipping out of consciousness, Calgary police say, after being attacked with a hatchet. Officers arrived at the Melbourne LRT station around 6:45 on Monday, responding to the reports of assault. Police say the incident took place on the upper platform by the elevator. The victim of the attack was initially listed as being life-threatening conditions, but police say she has since improved. Officers located 2 suspects at the Franklin LRT station around 8 p.m. arrested both of them without incident. 2 Medicine Hat women and a man from Redcliffe faced charges after a drug trafficking investigation unearthed methamphetamines, fentanyl, and cash. Officers searched 3 locations in the city of Medicine Hat and 1 location in Redcliffe, seizing over 104 grams of methamphetamine, 28 grams of fentanyl, and a small amount of cocaine. Alberta's law enforcement response team officers say that the estimated street value of the drugs plus the seized cash exceeds $15,000. All 3 of the accused are scheduled to appear in Medicine Hat's provincial court this month. The Calgary Expo is one of the more premier events that makes its way to the city, but the COVID-19 pandemic has put a huge dent back in the back end of the entertainment scene in Calgary over the last 3 years. Taryn Jott-Vinning has more on the event, with things slowly starting to return to normal.
It's been great. People have been great. Everybody's been so nice, and I can't wait for the rest of the weekend.
The Calgary Expo is one of the more premier events that makes its way to the city, but the COVID-19 pandemic has put a huge dent in the back of the entertainment scene in Calgary over the last 3 years. With things slowly returning to normal, with events like the Expo, fans and business owners like Marcus Moreno from Gallery Panda are hopeful that the once prosperous scene will flourish once again.
I know in the beginning, we couldn't really go out to conventions as much as when it happened, but we do have an online store, so all our sales were kind of coming from there. But now we can get sales online and here.
The majority of the entertainment scene in Calgary has shifted to the online world, but fans have a better sense of belonging and feel more at home when they're out and about at expos and conventions.
It's like coming back home. It's like coming back to a family that I haven't seen in 2 or 3 years. It's nerve-wracking, a little anxious, but yeah, family, home away from home for sure.
The pandemic has changed a lot of things, but one thing that hasn't is the unwavering support from fans. From meeting celebrities, taking part in contests, and many other things, fans are the reason as to why events like these happen.
I just had my photo op with William Shatner, so that's been my highlight. The Q&A was amazing as well. Also, this is her birthday and her first time at the expo, and so we're very excited to share all of this with her.
The COVID-19 pandemic has certainly left the entertainment business in Calgary to fend for itself. But recently, projects like The Last of Us and now the Calgary Expo coming into town has done wonders for the entertainment business in Calgary. For the State News File, I'm Taryn Jote-Vinning.
A Rocky View school is closed and buses to another school are not running Tuesday because of poor road conditions in the area. Catherine's school is telling parents to keep their kids at home because it is too difficult to get there. Meanwhile, Bisker Community School will remain open. However, buses will not pick up students and will not pick them up there. All other Rocky View schools are open and holding classes as usual. Those are today's top stories. We will have a full forecast after the break, but first, here's Keith Driver has a look at today, what's going on in Calgary this week.
Canadian superstar Bryan Adams makes a stop here in Calgary November 9th. So Happy It Hurts is dedicated to life getting back to normal since the lockdown. Tickets are available at ticketmaster.ca. It's the middle of the semester and it's closing fast. Let's Talk is a chance for students to talk about what is stressing them out. No appointments needed, first come, first served, November 9th and 16th at the Aldrich Center on St. Campus. Take some time to pause and reflect this Remembrance Day. With many services around the city, you can go next door to the Jubilee Auditorium. Parking is free and tickets are available at the door due to limited seating. Come down November 14th to kick off Métis Recognition Week. City of Calgary will be raising the Métis flag at City Hall with Métis elders and members of the Métis Region 3 at noon. All are welcome. With cold temperatures and the semester almost over with stress building up, come have that stress taken away by petting a puppy at the Stangrad Library, where it's not only free, but you'll be leaving with a smile on your face.
Hi, welcome to the weather. And Brendan, you know, as you were talking about that that bad weather, it's a little not too great out here in the west, because unlike Vancouver, which is always nice and warm, I don't know why I'm moving, it's always nice and warm in Vancouver, but Edmonton, Regina, and even Winnipeg are having those terrible road conditions. So I'm starting to wonder if they were having road issues there in Winnipeg area. And now taking a look at the east, which is a lot nicer. Toronto and Montreal, you know, they're always really nice. So the Remembrance Day Parade is going to be lovely weather, hopefully. And then going up towards the Maritimes, it's going to be a little nicer, though. If you're up in St. John's, you might want to get on that raincoat. And now here's a look at some warmer weather down south.
Palm Springs at 28 degrees. Though the Caribbean is still warm, the weather isn't as nice, with Barbados and Orlando both experiencing stormy weather. Meanwhile, Cancun has periods of sun and cloud. The Pacific is having beautiful weather, and Honolulu is 30 degrees with clear skies. Las Vegas is also sunny, with the Strip being a comfortable 22 degrees.
Calgary weather today is only -21, and the roads have improved in the city, which is quite nice due to some of that sunny weather. The wind hasn't been picking up too much, and tomorrow is going to be really nice with more sun. Looking at the rest of our province here, what we have right now is this interesting little corridor of warm air keeping around a -15 going all the way towards the east. But then if you're out in Grand Prairie and Lethbridge, though, you're feeling that really cold weather right now, so you want to be making sure you're bundling up. If you're heading out skiing, it's going to be quite nice with -14 out in the Rockies. Now taking a look at our 5-day forecast here in Calgary, it is going to be a little cold tonight, so just make sure you bundle up. But it is going to start getting a little nicer as the week goes on, with the average temperatures going to be starting to go down towards 2 and 1 over the weekend. And then Sunday is going to be quite nice with that high of 7. And the other nice part that's going to be nice is the weather going a little forward isn't going to be too bad, especially if you're going to head out towards some sporting events. And that's what we're going to take a look at right after this.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that help me live a better life and build a better future. Now I can finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. with industry standard technology and the best instructors in the business. SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT News File. Katie Rubagliati now joins us for a look at the latest highlights. What's happening?
So we're going to look at how the Flames are still digging that deep hole down with all their losing streaks. But first we're going to take a look at the SAIT Trojans. The SAIT Trojans men's hockey team lost their 3-game winning streak after a home-and-home split with the Concordia Thunder on Saturday night. When the Trojans were visiting the Thunder's home rink, they defeated them 3-7. When the Thunder came to face the Trojans at Winsport, the roles were reversed. The Trojans did see some good efforts from the Toothless Wonder, Dylan Shives, Chase Falgares, and Zach Hubert, all of which scored goals in the game. The Trojans are looking to get back later this week on Friday's game against the UAA in Camrose. The Calgary Flames aren't looking too hot after last night's game. They are still continuing that 5-game losing streak, and they went head-to-head against the New York Islanders. Their game was neck and neck, starting with a goal from the Flames' Michael Backlund, and the game ended in overtime when Ramus Anderson took a penalty for interference, which freed up the ice for the Islanders' Noah Dobson to score the winning goal for the Islanders. This is the second game in the row where the Flames have played games that went into overtime, one of which was when they were facing the New Jersey Devils. The Flames are hoping to pick up and get back tonight when they're facing the New Jersey Devils once again. They are currently sitting in the second wildcard spot in the Western Conference. The Calgary Stampeders lost their spot in the Grey Cup this past weekend to the BC Lions, who kicked them out. The game started with tied at the first quarter at 3, but the time it got to the second, the Lions dove ahead and there was no coming back from there. The BC Lions won 30-16, and they'll be facing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this coming Sunday. And this is not the first time where the Stamps are not making it past the first round. The Houston Astros put to bed any doubts after winning their first series title since the 2017 cheating scandal. The Astros beat the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 6 after Yordan Alvarez hit a 450-foot home run in the bottom of the 6th. The Astros would then cruise to a 4-1 victory, and the 25-year-old Jeremy Padilla, who tasked with all the challenges of replacing the all-star shortstop Carlos Correa, took home the World Series MVP honors. The MLB announced the nominees for the Cy Young, MVP, and the Rookie of the Year and Manager of the Year, and some of these nominees are Blue Jays. Ace Alex Moya is the Cy Young finalist, and Aaron Judge broke the American League home run record as the MVP finalist. Now, those are your latest highlights.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for those Calgary Flames, just not able to get those wins. But yeah, now taking a look here at weather with Keith.
Yeah, so just a reminder, it is going to be really cold tonight with that weather dropping down to -23. Though, as we said earlier, it is going to get a little warmer throughout the week, but you have to be careful, especially if you're on those roads, because we're still in those freezing temperatures, and we are in that season where black ice is becoming more prominent. So just make sure when you're out there driving, don't take too many unnecessary risks and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us here today. That is everything for this SAIT News File update.